you doing? Oh my gosh.
Better now. Better now. Better.
The stories, the craziness, the wildness this morning. Apparently,
you know what?
I don't know if you know this. The Russians cannot be trusted during peace talks. I don't know if
what you don't say.
I was just thinking you could never be an eye doctor because if you said better or worse, I would just say better. It's better. There's no worse. It's all better.
John and I are in the flowing locks off at this point.
You are just not going to cut that hair, are you? Either
is that 2 years now? Over 2 years.
Yeah. It's, I mean, basically since the beginning of lockdown.
Yeah.
And, well, technically speaking, it didn't crest past this point until many months in. You know what I mean? It does take time to grow. I didn't just go,
listen,
all right, screw it, it's lockdown. Let's put on the wig.
Works for me. It is like Jacqueline Smith and Charlie's Angels now, and it is
Thanks.
so works for me.
Yeah. We could so like sexy liberal those posters so much better now. If you give me a curling iron and enough time, I could do the Farrah Fawcett too. We just need focus.
Great. I got to be Kate Jackson again.
Again.
You and
it's
John
the story of your life,
better
Steph.
hair. Exactly. Aw. Hal, you retweeted out Rick Wilson, who said, if you were a former government official who illegally took top secret documents from your job and then started asking a hostile foreign dictator in the middle of a land war in Europe for help, you would be in jail. And you just made a note to yourself. And we were just talking about the media covering Hunter Biden again instead of this.
Yes, or instead of 3.6% unemployment, and Biden creating more jobs in 14 months than any president in U.S. history. Now you got to weigh that against jobs coming back. I have no problem doing that, but they created 1.5 million more jobs than were expected in the recovery, much less the jobs that were, how fast small businesses would actually get back up online, including with supply chain issues, including with oil prices and the like. So, of course, this has to come out. And the Washington Post story is the biggest pile of hot garbage I have ever seen in my life. There is no Hunter Biden laptop. The story title alone is how we analyze the Hunter Biden laptop. And they admit in it, they never saw the damn thing. They got a hard drive from a dude, and ultimately every paragraph has there's a lot of missing data, and everything's been copied and recopied so many times, we can't tell what's from where. But we can guarantee that 100 of these emails are genuine because other people have copies of them. Like the Russians wouldn't know that and go, real emails, mix them with 129,000 other fakes. And then plant the story to layer over the BS that they're literally blowing up their own depots as acts of attack during the peace talks so that they can use a predicate to attack more into Ukraine.
You and I were just discussing, Chris had to physically show me what a key bump is because you and I famously don't do any drugs. Do you not feel like if we did, this would be an acid flashback to 2016? And I don't think I saw this coming with the media, that they would so easily do this all again. Right. It is an acid flat. There's Trump asking Putin for help, but this time in the middle of a genocide for somebody he's already been impeached twice for. I mean, it's and the media is like, oh, wait, Hunter, emails, hang on. I mean,
squirrel. Like, that's basically what they're doing. Like, it's literally the squirrel of all stories for them. The squirrel, that. And the weird part is this new wave of stories around it. Yeah. Which says in it, literally, these are emails that appears to be from the Hunter Biden laptop. Okay, once you put appears to be in an article about digital information, go away. Just put your, step away from your word processor and go fire yourself. It is 2022. We're not writing email stories like it's 1992 anymore. We all understand how it works. This is a redo of the Hillary Clinton email scandal, which turned out to be nothing. And again, her server was the only server during her time at State and other places that never got hacked by a foreign entity.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. And yet that's never part of the story.
Yeah.
I can't be, as a person named after a computer, I'm offended.
Yes.
Computer says no.
As a computer human, I find this offensive.
You are a computer human.
This is what I love about you, is you're always happy clappy like me and vote blue no matter who. Isn't it just infuriating and frustrating going into the midterms that, Biden's polling on the economy is bad, and you just said all the economic indicators that I don't know what else we do. Democrats just voted to cap insulin at $35.
Yes.
I don't know what else to do about that. They are doing quantifiable, provable things that are helping you, and Republicans are just running about hate and divisiveness and hate women, hate gay people, hate trans people, right?
Yes, that's absolutely true. And at a certain point, anybody who purportedly says that they're telling the truth about the news, who shrugs off the jobs numbers or shrugs off the unverifiability of the Hunter Biden nonsense, or shrugs off the anti-trans, anti-gay bills, all that stuff, or the anti-voting stuff that the Republicans are doing, needs to be called out. Why do you think that's a small thing? How dare you? Yeah. How dare you? That's, I think, the area where we're there, because none of us want to do what Trump did, which is the press are the enemy of the people. But on a one-to-one basis, anybody who writes a story, polls show that, because you guys keep shrugging off the reality of this circumstance. Yeah. You act like everything is equal, that, it's a lot of whataboutism and both siderism, that of course it's watered down. Also, the polls are improving for Biden. Yeah. That's the happy.
So let me ask you about Trump pollster. Tony Fabrizio says Trump views the stolen election narrative as his key to winning in 2024. He said Trump is never going to accept his 2020 election defeat. And he said, I've told him that, and I've been yelled at several times repeatedly for it. He believes the election issue is still a viable issue to help him move the ball down the field. That's just one of those times where he doesn't listen. He still says, though, he thinks the former president will secure the party's nomination. I mean, the fact that we could do this again.
Right. No, he's not. Okay. He's not. But Trump's not going to win the nomination for his party if he runs. He knows it. This is all a bunch of noise to raise money through his Save America super PAC, because that's how he's paying his bills these days. No, he's not going to be president again. He's not going to be a candidate again. No, 100 times no. It's not
Thank
God
happen. Truth Social is such a big success.
Oh my God! If any indication, I have an account on Truth Social. I've used it once, and that puts me in the vast majority of everybody on there. Yeah. I was on a waiting list to get in. You know what Truth Social was with that whole waiting list thing? Yeah. It was like one of those things in New York or in LA where you go and there's like a huge line outside of a club, and you're like, oh my God, this must be the hot new joint. And then finally you go in and you're like, there were 120 people in line. Empty. It must be packed. And then you're like, there's 118 people in the club. 2 of those people were employees. Yeah. And that's it. And it's really sparse. Right. And nobody's there. That's exactly what this is. It's old school 1980s. How do you make the club look hot? Make everybody stand outside. That's exactly what happened. And then as soon as they open the doors, everybody's like, oh, screw this place. I'm going to Dave's house party.
That's from the key bump era, Chris.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Hal speaks of.
Okay.
I've been to clubs in New York. I've been to the Limelight. I've been to the Roxy. I've been to the Twilo.
Hal has instituted a new rule. Can we just make it a rule that people who refer to themselves in the third person are not eligible to run for office? I'm with you. No. Herschel Walker is the latest. And also, we already have Senator Football. Senator Football McDonald.
The Walker, you nice.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Pardon me? I'm sorry.
I said that when Herschel Walker is busy Herschel Walkering, when he Herschel Walkers the Herschel Walkerness on Walker Texas Ranger, when he has a walk-on as Herschel Walker, then we can shut up. It's so aggravating. It's this, and again, everything's a reboot. That's like from a branding book in 1996. If you need to get your name in the paper and you're being interviewed, say your name a bunch of times. I read that in an article that Hal Sparks wrote about Hal Sparks' isms. Good Lord.
Can I just say that it's just like Exhibit 101, Republican racism. I got to meet Senator Warnock recently, and he is spectacular. And the fact that they're just like, oh, we got a black guy is like, Herschel Walker is nuts. I mean,
yes. And again, guys, knock yourself out. If that's your version of inclusivity and diversity, fine by me. But all it does is point to the fact that, and diversity, for the record, and this applies to anyone listening, diversity is not finding someone who thinks exactly like you who's a different color. Right. That's not diversity.
Right.
Never has been, never will be. Diversity includes the part where they disagree with you.
Right.
Right.